God, it finally happened. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video with Swaggle. There you see it, right in front of you. PSA has entered chat. We have another grading company in the game, folks. PSA expands into comic book and magazine grading. Holy explicitive. I don't even know what to say. This is wild. This is breaking news. So in this video, we need to talk about PSA coming into comic books. How do you feel about this? We got a press report in front of us. We're going to go through it. We're going to read it together. And more importantly, we need to ask ourselves the question, does this change anything? Is this a big shakeup? Do you think that collectors are going to be embracing PSA, which of course you guys know to be the go-to for sports cards grading? Are they going to be a major player in the comic book game? Let me know in the comments. But of course, before I get to the article, if you guys could like, comment, subscribe, I appreciate it. Help support the channel, doing those things. But let us get into this video here today. Breaking news. Woke up this morning, got some notifications from people sending me this article. PSA expands into comic book and magazine grading. There you see it, guys. Oh my God. Comic book grading. Second appearance of Wolverine. Just kidding. First full appearance of Wolverine in a I almost said CGC 9.4, in a PSA 9.4 with white pages. There's the label. Okay, we're gonna zoom in on this. Let's talk about the article first, then we'll do our evaluations of the slab. All right, let's read through the article. So the sports collectibles world has its fair share of holy grails. Honus Wagner T206, Mickey Mantle's 1952 Topps, and Michael Jordan's 1986 Flair, just to name a few. The TCG universe has its iconic cards as well. Illustrator Pikachu, Alpha Black Lotus, and Blue Eyes White Dragon, to name a few. Rarity has always found its finest form in a PSA holder, but now PSA is excited to take its eagle eye, or would it be Hawkeye, to the most coveted comics in the world. In 2025, PSA will begin a new chapter in its heritage-rich hobby history with the introduction of comic book and magazine authentication and grading, along with comic books and magazine pressing. This expansion is a natural progression for us. It leverages our decades of expertise, our deeply talented and always growing team, and the trust we've earned within the collector space, said Elizabeth Grunet, general manager of PSA Pop Culture. PSA's comic book grading service will encompass a wide spectrum of items, including Victorian era, platinum, age, golden age, silver age, bronze age, modern. So they're going to do everything here. Although the 10-point grading scale will always be the PSA way, we're introducing new decimal increments specific to comic books and magazine. This is an industry standard due to the complicated nature, interior and exterior cover, staples, multiple interior pages, and inserts. These items are more complex and they require more complex grading systems. The launch of PSA's comic book and magazine grading service will also see autograph division play a crucial role. Wow, autographs, interesting. Further enhancing the service's credibility and thoroughness, provenance, and pedigree. Question mark? Not a problem. Okay. For collectors and enthusiasts alike, PSA's expansion into comic books and magazines promises to uphold the high standards of authenticity, condition assessment, preservation, and presentation while we move from prototype holder and label designs into production versions. We're actively listening to communities and collectors to exceed every expectation. Stay tuned for more details and updates. Well, let's listen to the community and the collectors' opinions right now. Can I zoom in on this? No, that's about as close as I can get, guys. So there you see the label. There you see the press report. What do you guys think about this? I mean, this is huge news overall. I mean, people have been talking about PSA getting into comic book grading for a long time. There's been many, many rumors. I've certainly heard a lot of them along, my journey here as a comic book YouTuber. But today is finally the day, and overall, to me, this is a great thing. I mean, more competition is a good thing, right? It's going to force all the companies to compete for our business. And if companies are competing for our business, then, that's a good thing overall. We're going to get better products. We're going to get maybe cheaper prices. We're going to get more features added to each case, which I think is super, super important, as we've, had many conversations about case security. Now, the question is, will PSA be able to, make a dent into the comic book market, because as it sits today, obviously CGC is, the pinnacle when it comes to grading in the comic space. I mean, everybody uses CGC. All pricing is based off of CGC, and we've teased CBCS and kind of said that that they're just the redheaded stepchild when it comes to comic book grading, and they just can't compete. So ultimately, it comes down to what will these PSA comics actually sell for on the secondary market, because value is everything. I know product is important, and I don't mean to upset anyone, but if we're being truly honest, the only reason why CGC is the go-to company and not CBCS or PGX or whatever else, EGS, the only reason is because CGC sells for more on the secondary market, and that's all that matters. Will that be the case with PSA? I mean, we'll have to find out. It's going to take a long time. It's going to take a while. But one of the things that PSA has going for them is that they are the go-to when it comes to card grading. Their sports cards and their whatever, Marvel cards, non-sports cards, things of that nature do sell for the most on the secondary market. So they have that side of the collecting hobbies trust and faith. So that's a big deal. But it'll be interesting to see if they could break into comics. Let's take a look at that label there. So there you see Incredible Hulk 181, 1974 Marvel Comics. You get the credits of the artists and stuff in the upper left corner. Then you see first full appearance in the lower left corner. And then the grade and the white pages newsstand copy. Wait, they had newsstands back in the day for Hulk 181? I don't know about that. And then the serial number right there. So very interesting. I mean, it's basically the sports card label blown up, right? Now, I know a lot of people out there, have been critical of the PSA sports card label. I don't ever think that it was a thing that they presented their label as the best label ever. So, to me, it kind of feels like an obvious choice that it's like, hey, we're just going to keep it the same. Like, let's keep all the branding guides the same. The look is the look. So I'm not really surprised that they didn't try to do like a total revamp of what their label looks like. Now, I do think it's interesting that you see the comic is kind of center frame right there, and then you have the sort of frosted plastic along the side to kind of frame the comic. That's kind of nice. I mean, that kind of has the feel, or that's similar to what we see with PSA cards, right? I feel like there's a little bit of frosted plastic right there. So, pretty cool overall. I got to be honest, I would have rather seen them do PSA 10. I think that they should have just done PSA 10, PSA 9, PSA 8. I know that that's a controversial take, and I know that that would be difficult to integrate into a lot of, the ecosystem of comic books. Like, how would you possibly evaluate a PSA 10 compared to a CGC 9.8? But I do think that there would be something interesting about that. I think that the psychology behind putting a 10 on a book and just having, it be, oh yeah, this is near mint, and maybe that covers the entire window of what would be a CGC 9.9, 9.8, and a 9.6. You're just going to call all of them a 10. I actually think that there's something to that. I think that collectors would have liked that, and then essentially anything that's a 9.4 to a 9.0 would just be a PSA 9. I think the simplicity of it would be good, and maybe there'd be a lot less people that would freak out about it. I mean, how many times have we had conversations about like, what's the difference between a 9.6 and a 9.8? Like, what's the difference between a 9.8 and a 9.9? It's like, the truth and the answer to those questions is really, it's like nothing really, So why not just call them, a PSA 9 or a PSA 10, and then let the people sort of evaluate, the books themselves. Right? Like PSA would just say, hey, here's an umbrella score, a general vicinity of where you're at. And then you, the individual collector, can decide if you think that this particular copy is a good version of that PSA 10. And I think that would have been kind of the go-to move, or the best way for them to really make a statement and really kind of stick it to, the competitors if they wanted to do that. Because, if we are being honest and we look at CBCS, what CBCS has been this whole time is basically, the CGC light, with all due respect to the people over at CBCS. I mean, that's what they are. And if you're going to be CGC light, then you're always going to be second place. And maybe that's okay. Maybe second place is okay to you. But if your goal is to be, the go-to, the premier company, you might need to, make some big decisions. You might need to make some interesting choices. But I don't know. This is very, very exciting. PSA is entering the game. They're going to be doing comic books. They're going to be doing magazines. There was talk right there of pedigrees and pressing, and some other stuff like signature authentication. So I feel like they are looking at this as a hey. Anything that's out there for the comic grading world, we are going to be entering this market in a big, big way. What do you guys think about this? This is huge, huge news. I kind of wanted to see, actually, we're so early. I wanted to see if PSA actually had made a Instagram post about this. They actually didn't, but shout out to the 99 Newsstand. He definitely made an Instagram post about this. Instagram, you could be quicker than making a YouTube video here. So I wanted to see what some of the good people out there are already saying. Let's see, Comic Doc, shout out to him. As a dealer, I will most certainly give them a shot. I have lots of suggestions to make, would love to share with them. So let's take a look at what the community is saying. RH Midwest Comics, shout out to him. This is huge. Finally brings some fire to CGC. Sounds like they are gunning for that #1 spot that CBCS runs from. Third-party grading needs to breed some competition. Yeah, I agree with those. Rage Theo with the fire. The real question is, what took them so long? Lol, I'm all for this. They're dominating the card side of things, so I'm looking forward to seeing how they will come out swinging. Whoa, massive news. I bet they're using the 1 to 10 scale. No, they're not. Oh, here we go. Finally, some competition. Looking forward to seeing how those PSA slabs look in person. Very positive overall. The comments are coming in. It's breaking news. It's really hot off the press, but I think people are very, very excited about this. So let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think about that label? What do you guys think about PSA coming into the grading game? How are you guys feeling about this? I'm very, very excited to check it out. Maybe we can set up some interviews or have some further conversations about this. Can't wait to hear other people's perspectives, and I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say as well. Anyways, that's all I got for this video. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. See you all in the next video.